Good evening and welcome to the June 18th Council meeting. Our flag salute this evening is going to be led by Troop 309 and Assistant Senior Patrol Leader Jonas Garcia. If you'd please stand. Thank you. Welcome.
May the audience please rise. Troop attention. Color guard attention. Color guard advance. Color guard, prepare to post the colors. Those not in uniform, put your right hand over your heart. Troop salute. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Color guard, post colors. Color guard, salute. 2. Color guard, retire the colors. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Troop 309. And you may be seated. So we have a proclamation for American Legion Family Day. I'd like to call up American Legion Unit 299 President Danielle Lively. Do you have other members you'd like to bring up with you? And our proclamation reads, whereas the founding fathers of the American Legion established their principles through the creation of the 4 pillars of the American Legion, which are Veterans Affairs and Rehabilitation, National Security, Americanism, and Children and Youth programs. The American Legion, through resolve, urges all members of the American Legion Auxiliary, the American Legion Riders, and the Sons of the American Legion, known collectively as the American Legion family, to assist in carrying on efforts in their locales by developing plans in support of the 4 pillars by remaining informed and assisting veterans, families, schools, workplaces, and communities in their time of need. The American Legion family continues to remain steadfast in their commitment to these principles in meeting the ever-expanding needs of their local communities throughout the nation. The American Legion is increasing their efforts to reduce the number of veteran suicides by promoting a program titled Be the One and encouraging all members of the American Legion family to participate by raising awareness and funds to donate to charities that assist in the prevention of veteran suicide. The American Legion family is an integral component supporting those in need within their local communities and does so in an unselfish manner without want of notice, personal gain, or recognition. And whereas the special day known as American Legion Family Day be established and observed annually the last Saturday of April, when all American Legion posts throughout the nation would open their doors to their members and the members of their local communities with the intent of celebrating all great deeds and works of the American Legion family, with the intent to educate, recruit, recognize, and to give back to those members that continually support the gift of giving. Now, therefore, I, Eunice Emiloa, Mayor of the City of Chino, do hereby proclaim the last Saturday of April as American Legion Family Day, and we're presenting this the 18th day of June. Danielle?
Oh, I'm not going to say anything. No. But thank you very much.
Well, you're welcome. You better go. Well, why don't you introduce who's up here with you?
Okay. Hi, good evening. To my left, Renee, she is my first vice, and I have Caitlin, who's in charge of our legislative program. Thank you.
She's going to get a picture. Next year we'll be on time.
No problem. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, next we're going to recognize the 10th anniversary of the Hope Family Resource Center. I'd like to call up Liz Lara with the Hope Family Resource Center and Community Services Parks and Recreation Manager Myra Pratt. On February 6, 2014, Mr. Wayne Joseph, Chino Valley Unified School District Superintendent, was faced with a difficult challenge. The former coordinator of student welfare and attendance shared the real-life barriers impacting Chino Valley families. Home visits uncovered grossly inadequate housing, families living in extreme poverty, and students facing unbelievable challenges in their quest to receive an education. During a school board meeting, Mr. Joseph shared his visionary approach that led to the establishment of the HOPE, which stands for Help Our People Every Day, program. He proposed assembling a group of community members, including the current city manager, Linda Reich, to develop a systematic approach to providing families with essential resources aimed at supporting student success. For 10 years, this valuable collaboration of school district employees, City of Chino case managers, counselors, specialists, local nonprofits, and faith-based community members has worked together to deliver critical services through the HOPE program. HOPE has since expanded to operate 6 family resource centers and 4 satellite sites on different CVUSD campuses where families receive case management support and students can have their basic needs addressed. In the last 10 years, over 10,000 families have been assisted with various resources like clothing, food resources, academic support, mental health services, housing resources, and so much more. In the 23-24 school year, over 3,500 individuals were assisted through case management, including 1,600 unhoused students. 823 students received new backpacks and school supplies to begin the new school year, and over 775 students visited the community care closet. This year, we stand to reach, if not exceeding, these numbers. The decade of success achieved by the HOPE program could not have been possible without the dedication of the Chino Valley Unified School District, the City of Chino, and the broader community. It truly takes a village to nurture a child, ensuring they feel loved, valued, and worthy of a successful future. The HOPE program truly provides hope to those families that need it most. And I'd like to present you with a certificate of recognition that reads, the Chino City Council wishes you a happy anniversary as you commemorate 10 years of dedication to the Chino community, presented today. And Myra, would you like to introduce this?
Thank you, Mayor and Council, for your continued support. So the City of Chino really values the collaboration that we have with the Chino Valley Unified School District. This is just one of the many programs that we offer, the Hope Family Resource Center, and I want to really acknowledge the team that's up here. These case managers work day in and day out to provide these quality services that are essential to these families within the Chino Valley, and Liz's leadership at the school site definitely is something that we continue to foster throughout the years. So just acknowledging their hard work and their commitment to serving our families. Liz?
Thank you. Thank you, City of Chino, because this is a great, you could say it's a nod to the program, but really it's an affirmation of collaboration. And the reminder to us all that we could do it. The district could do it, but we would be limited. We wouldn't have, our resources would only take us so far. Doing it collaboratively, and that includes not just our local government, but our 60+ partners that have joined us in the past 10 years, that's doing it right. And so we have been actually acknowledged at the state level. We received a grant, one of only 20 school districts in all of California, because of the collaboration done right. So Chino Valley is doing something amazing here, not just through our HOPE program, with all of our collaborative services, where it's really district, city, everyone looking out for those that especially need the most help during difficult times. So thank you, City, thank you, Council, everyone for your continued support. It means the world to us and to our families. Absolutely. Here, you guys.
Yeah, my name is Michelle Mesa, and I'm the Community Services Coordinator. My name is Fatima Quiñones Martinez, and I am a case manager 2.
My name is Alejandro Cabral, and I'm a case manager 1.
My name is Mara Lozano, and I'm the care closet specialist.
My name is Janet Rios, and I'm the outreach specialist.
Well, thank you all for being here this evening. I know this is a very, very important resource to those in need. You have touched thousands of lives and given them hope, which is appropriate for the name of the program. Okay, let's give them a hand. Got to get a picture. Just got her picture. Okay, now we have a very special presentation. Chino High Wrestling Team. I'd like to call up Coach Alex Angulo. Alex, would you like to read the names and then tell the special things about the students?
Also, he's not here.
Oh, he's not here. Okay.
So, and then neither is he.
Neither's he.
I'll put somewhere because he was, he's on the national team.
Would you like to talk about him anyway? Okay, let's talk about him.
All right, we'll start off first with one of our wrestlers. He's actually couldn't be here tonight. This is why I want to make sure he gets some recognition. He's currently on the California junior dual team, competing against all the other states in the country, representing California. He was a CIF champion, Masters runners-up, 7th in state, part of this dual championship team. And, he's still only a freshman, so he's just getting started. But, he couldn't be here tonight, but we want to make sure we recognize Zach Samano. All right, another wrestler who was also a CIF individual champion, a CIF Masters runners-up, and part of the dual championship team. We want to recognize Michael Vasale. All right, we're going to recognize first, before we get back to the boys, this young lady. She's now a 2-time CIF wrestling champion and added a CIF Masters champion. She'll be competing, representing Puerto Rico at the Pan American Games next month in July, and that is Tilly Kakuk. All right. Graduating senior, team captain this year, senior, Nathaniel Gonzalez. Another graduating senior, multi-sport athlete, 3-sport athlete. Graduating senior, actually helping me right now this summer for the beginners camp, Evan Gray. Congratulations, buddy. Couldn't make it here today. He'll be a senior. He's been jumping back and forth between camp and work. Hard worker, Jaden Elizalde. Also couldn't be here, graduating senior. He is, however, already begun his training at Arizona Christian University. Senior captain, Caleb Valenzuela. Upcoming junior, 2-time state qualifier, Jonathan Madera. Congratulations, big guy. senior this year. Could not make it. I didn't see him as I came in. However, he deserves a recognition. David Sierra. Upcoming senior as well. Big year ahead of him, Diego Medina. Also upcoming senior, could not make it today as well, David Franco. This year, CIF finalists also competed and represented the state of California in the cadet national team. This past week at the duels, freestyle state champion, Nathan Caldwell. Junior, entering his junior season, working hard every day, getting better and better, Ascension Perez. Upcoming junior as well. Another hard worker, partners with this last young man, Christian Ochoa Gonzalez. Could not make it today. He's doing double shifts. He's a multi-sport athlete doing football and wrestling. Aaron Jimenez. Graduating senior, two-time CIF placer, master's placer, state qualifier, also a two-sport athlete, really a standout football player as well in the community, Nathan Blanco. All right. Upcoming junior, one of our big men, has done a really good job filling in wherever he could. Won a pivotal match to win this actual title, Nathan Garcia. They're always goofing around. All right, last but not least, our big man, the heavyweight, also a junior, Jorge Hernandez. All right. I could not have any of the success without these people I'm about to call up. They all serve pivotal parts in our staff. Wait, we should have one more.
There's a whole bunch here.
Yeah. No. Wait. Matthew Silva. I want to make sure I mention him because he was a 4-year wrestler for us. I think that one slipped through the cracks. I don't know. Anyway, he deserves recognition. Someone who came in and has wrestled with us. He's leaving us. Definitely hard worker, big time motivator, and really strong individual. Matthew Silva.
It's not on the list, but we'll get one.
Okay, once again, back to the coaching staff. First coach we have here is Matthew Ledesma. Next coach, the hype man, Mike Simano. Couldn't make it here tonight, probably training as we speak. Coach Zachary Schoonover. Also probably couldn't make it because he's training right now. Dylan Moreno. Did make it, and he's actually on his way to go train after this. Another coach is always on the mat here with us, Jordan Malo.
Okay, now we have one for you. The head coach, City of Chino is proud to recognize the Chino High School wrestling team coaching staff for an outstanding 2024 season. Thank you so much, Alex, for everything that you do. Okay, wait, let's get a picture. See, everybody needs to kind of crowd together. Short ones in the front, tall ones in the back.
They're moving them up from the previous division they're in up to Division I. So the team is moving up in rankings.
And all the parents. Well, congratulations to all of you. We're very, very proud of your accomplishments.
Congratulations, Coach.
It's always so nice to recognize the accomplishments of our young people in town. Okay, we did have a closed session prior to the council meeting starting, so I would like to ask our city attorney to report out any action that was taken.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council, and all those present. The city council met in closed session as announced by the mayor and held a discussion as to each of the items listed on the closed session portion of the agenda and as previously announced before recessing into closed session. Beginning with item 1, conference with legal counsel, one item of anticipated litigation, the matter against potential defendant, the Kroger Company. Following a discussion by motion of Councilmember Lucio, seconded by Councilmember Burton, and carried 5-0, the City Council unanimously approved opting in to the settlement agreement against Kroger Companies related to the opioid settlement matter and having the county or its designee administer those funds on behalf of the city. Item number 2, conference with real property negotiator concerning the property at 5177 Chino Avenue with the parties previously announced. The City Council provided direction. No further reportable action was taken. Item number 3, conference with real property negotiator, property at 5091 G Street. City Council held a discussion, provided direction, no further reportable action was taken. Item number 4, conference with real property negotiator concerning the properties at 5412 Francis Avenue, 0 Francis Avenue, and with the negotiating party previously announced and listed on the agenda. The Mayor Ulloa abstained, left the closed session room, and did not participate in the discussion. The balance of the council held a discussion and provided staff direction. No further reportable action was taken. Item number 5, conference with real property negotiator concerning the property at 13339 Central Avenue, 13399 Central Avenue, and 0 G Street. City Council held a discussion, provided staff with direction, no further reportable action. And finally, item number 6, conference with the real property negotiator concerning the property at 4570 Philadelphia Street, 0 Philadelphia Street, 4562 Philadelphia Street, and 4578 Philadelphia Street. Again, City Council held a discussion, provided direction to staff, and no further reportable action was taken, and all of that concerns price and terms of potential acquisition. That concludes the report out of closed session. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. City Manager Wright, do we have any agenda additions or revisions?
No changes, Mayor.
Okay. Next, under information, within our packet is the Economic Development Report. I would encourage you to access this item online and read it. It has some very interesting information. As well, we have an external agency report for June 18th, which is today, covers April 1st to April 30th. This is information regarding legislation from Sacramento. So again, I encourage you to access that report. Next, under public announcements, Go Skateboarding Day. Chino skaters are invited to show their skills at Ayala State Park, located at 5575 Edison Avenue, for the annual Go Skateboarding Day celebration. The event takes place this Friday, June 21st, from 3 to 6 p.m. Enjoy delicious food, giveaways, exciting competitions, and spend the afternoon skating with friends and community members. For more information, please call 909-334-3257. Next, under Summer Nights and Chino Kiwanis Summer Concerts. Continuing this week, we invite you to join some of our favorite summer happenings. Summer Nights and the Chino Kiwanis Summer, Chino Kiwanis Club Summer Concerts, all taking place right here at City Hall lawn. This Thursday, June 20th, enjoy a blast from the past with Ransom, a classic rock cover band. Next Thursday, groove to the timeless hits of Hall & Oates with the tribute band, Private Eyes. Each concert kicks off at 7 p.m. This Friday, gather your family for an action-packed evening with the movie Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. Good grief. Activities start at 6:30 p.m. and the film begins at dusk. Please note there will be no movie next week, as we encourage everyone to attend the fireworks spectacular. For the full summer schedule, please visit www.cityofchino.org/events. Next, Chino Fireworks Spectacular, a salute to our armed force heroes. Join us at Ruben S. Ayala Park, located at 14225 Central Avenue, for one of Chino's most cherished traditions, Fireworks Spectacular, a salute to our armed forces. I'm having trouble talking tonight. This event takes place over 2 fun-filled days. Day 1, Friday, June 28th, from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m., will feature food courts, carnival rides, and games. Please note, no fireworks display is scheduled for Friday. Day 2, Saturday, June 29th, from 1 p.m. to 10 p.m., continues the excitement with food, retail booths, and carnival attractions. The evening will also feature a live performance by the band Rewind and touching military photo presentations. The night ends with a spectacular fireworks show at 9 p.m. celebrating our armed forces heroes. For more information about the event, please visit cityofchino.org/FS or call 909-334-3250. Next on the agenda is public communication. This is the time and the place for the general public to address the council on items that do not appear elsewhere on the agenda. Our first written request to speak is Mr. Pastor Rob Hartson from Calvary Chapel, Chino Hills. He's going to lead us in an invocation, and I invite all of those who would like to join us to please stand.
Thank you, Mayor. Skateboarding, I'm in. I'm coming to that. All right, if you guys would bow your heads. Heavenly Father, we humbly come before you. And Lord, we're so thankful for this beautiful city. And Lord, we first ask a hedge of protection in this city, Lord, for going to our police officers, to our firemen, Lord, that you would just watch over them and bring them home to their families. Lord, we ask that you would have a hedge of protection around the mayor and the city council. And Lord, that God, that the decisions that they make would be God-honoring. Lord, it's hard to do this, to run a city and to do all the planning. Lord, I pray that you would just have your fingerprints in all of it. And God, we're so thankful that you sent your son to die on the cross, that, Lord, that we can even have this time of prayer, Lord. So we lift the city council, and just the community into it, that you would just watch over them and protect them. Lord, we just want to tell you that we love you, we thank you, and we give this day to you now. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. God bless you guys.
Thank you. Next written request is Art Marquez from the Southern California Gas Company.
Well, good evening, Honorable Mayor, City Council, City staff, and community. I wanted to take this opportunity tonight to introduce myself. My name is Art Marquez, and I'm the new Public Affairs Manager for SoCal Gas. I'm not new to public affairs. I was recently with Waste Management, where I managed a few of their franchise areas out in the Riverside County area. So the running joke right now is I'm no longer a trash talker, but I am with SoCal Gas, where they have good energy. So in all seriousness, I am looking forward to working with you guys, fostering our partnership, and looking for new ways to strengthen our community. I did leave some business cards with my contact information. I'm hoping to be your direct contact for SoCal Gas, and any questions, comments, concerns, I'm hoping to be there for you guys. So with that said, looking forward to meeting everybody again more personally, and thank you for having me tonight. Have a good night.
Being here. Those are the only written requests I have to speak. Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to address the council on an item that is not on the agenda? Yes, sir.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Last week, I got a chance to look at the news broadcast, what you guys did with the homeless situation, and I was very happy of what I see you guys doing. And I guess wanted to say a couple of things, that the city of Chino, we are not against homeless people. We are actually for the homeless people, and we want to really help and everything. And we got all the perfect conditions where to go. And we are here to help you guys with the homeless situation. And like I said, we're not against homeless people, but we are against keeping our city clean. And that is very important to everybody, especially the public and everything. I deal with that stuff in Pomona. I left Pomona today, and they actually had to go in the building and get a couple of homeless people out the abandoned building. And I said, man, wow, this is gas. I never knew it was this much work you guys got to do. And I get up early in the morning, like around 6:30, and I go have my cup of coffee at the donut shop at Painted Dough. And I get a chance to talk to a lot of homeless people, and I actually encourage them that we have homes for you guys. Now, we can't make you guys do and put y'all in there, but what we could do is help. And so that's our goal with the homeless people. And Mayor, thank you. Thank you for the great leadership what you guys have put in the city of Chino. And shout out to the Chino Police Department. You guys are doing a great job. I see you guys every day, all day long. Mayor, good leadership. Good leadership. Thank you for your leadership. And And like I said, thank you guys. And any help you need, I'm here to volunteer. Everybody know me at the park too. They know exactly who I am. You can talk to all the kids, and I know what they're gonna say about me. Like, that's a good dude right there. I help them. I break all the fights up and everything. Give them free sodas, popcorn, all that stuff. And not only that, if you guys ever need cold water, I got cold water on board for the officers. I go to Pomona every day, and I give all the officers cold water, and they say, "Man, you still with us," and everything. So I just want to serve. That's my goal of really serving the city of Chino and everything. I want to volunteer too. Pomona let me volunteer plenty of times. I'm like, this guy get the job done. He's very professional. He don't cause no confusion. And he obey instructions from the leadership. I do that. My pastor taught me that. So thank you so much for y'all leadership. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Michael. Thank you, Michael. Anyone else in the audience want to address the council on an item that is not on the agenda? Okay, seeing none. Next item is the consent calendar. We are pulling items 2 and 11. Do any council members wish to have any other items pulled? Okay, seeing none, then I would entertain a motion and a second. Motion from Councilman Burton, second from Councilman Flores. Please vote. Balance of the consent calendar passes unanimously. Item number 2 are the minutes from our regular meeting on June 4th. Councilman Lucio was absent, and so will not be voting on this issue. I need a motion and a second to approve item number 2. There's a motion from Councilman Burton, second from Mayor Pro Tem Comstock. Please vote. We have 4 yes with 1 abstaining, and that being Councilman Lucio. Item number 11 is the item to accept public improvements is complete for track map numbers 16837, 16997, and 16998. Councilman Lucio will be leaving the meeting for this particular item since he lives in that track. Does the council wish to have a staff report on this? Okay, seeing none, then I would entertain a motion and a second for item number 11. Motion from Mayor Pro Tem Comstock, second from Councilman Flores. Please vote. We have 4 yes with 1 absent, that being Mr. Lucio. Okay, if you'd like to call him back in. Next item on the agenda is under new business, item number 12, classification and compensation adjustments based on results of a citywide classification and compensation study. This item is to approve the adjustments to the city's class and comp schedule for implementation of the class and comp study findings. Staff report this evening will be provided by Misha Siskin, Deputy Director of Human Resources Risk Management, and Jerry Ann Kingsland, Director of Human Resources Risk Management.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members. Presented for your consideration are the findings of a citywide classification and compensation study. Council directed the study to be conducted to determine if salaries paid by the City of Chino were competitive in the job market. A study of this magnitude was last conducted in 1991. At that time, the employee population was significantly smaller, there were fewer classifications, and positions were far less specialized. To ensure the study was conducted in a valid and reliable manner, the city sought out experts in the field. Using a competitive bidding process, the firm Coffin Associates, a leading public sector human resources consulting firm in California since 1984, was selected. All full and part-time positions, with the exception of sworn classifications, which are studied separately, were included. The process took hundreds of hours to gather input from employees, their supervisors, and the executive management team, as well as COF's analysis of all of this information and the data obtained from the council-adopted survey cities. Job matches were identified based on positions performing similar duties and like areas of responsibility. New job titles and classifications were established where warranted to achieve more accurate descriptions of positions. Doing so enhances the city's recruitment efforts as candidates are drawn to employment opportunities that are like those that they are accustomed to seeing in their respective career fields. City negotiators met and conferred with representatives of the affected associations and have agreement on the findings of the study. With this, a decades-long lapse in right-sizing the organization's classification and compensation plan is rectified. Approval of the classification and compensation study requires an appropriation estimated to be $3.1 million spread across the various funds indicated in the staff report. This concludes my report, and I'd be happy to answer any questions for you. Thank you.
Do we have any questions of staff? Seeing none, then I would entertain a motion in a second for approval of item number 12. Motion from Councilman Burton, second from Councilman Flores. Please vote. And the item passes unanimously. Next on the agenda is item number 13, cost of living adjustment FY 24-25. Approve resolution 2024-030, updating the city's classification and compensation schedule to reflect the FY 24-25 cost of living adjustment approved by the City Council in July 2023. Staff report once again by Misha Sisikin, Deputy Director of Human Resources Risk Management, and Jerry Ann Kingsland, Director of Human Resources Risk Management.
Thank you, Mayor, City Council members. I appreciate the opportunity to address another matter related to the city's compensation plan. Now, as background, non-sworn represented employees are about to begin the second year of a 2-year labor contract with the city that provides for a cost of living adjustment of 4% effective July 2024. This also applies to non-sworn exempt and part-time employees. Following the adoption of the classification and compensation study, a revised salary schedule that reflects the 4% increase to wages must be codified by resolution. Therefore, the City Council is requested to adopt Resolution 2024-30, which will serve as the salary schedule for non-sworn city employees effective with the pay period that includes July 1st, 2024, and continues through June 30th, 2025. This salary schedule includes the salaries of sworn personnel, which remain unchanged. Approval of the cost of living adjustment requires an appropriation of $1.7 million spread across various funds as indicated in the staff report. Now, this concludes my report, and again, I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Any questions of staff? Seeing none, then once again, I would entertain a motion in a second. Motion from Councilman Burton, second from Councilman Flores. Please vote. And this item is approved unanimously. Item number 14, Pine Avenue Improvement Amendments. This is amendment number 2 to the Construction Credit Reimbursement Agreement for the Pine Avenue Improvements Phase 1, Stages 1 through 3, and Stage 4. Staff report this evening will be provided by our Assistant City Engineer, Jesus Plasencia, and our City Engineer, Albert Espinoza. Gentlemen.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. Pine Avenue is a major arterial roadway within the preserve-specific plan area that will be a total of 6 lanes and have a raised landscape median in its ultimate condition. The phased construction of Pine includes right-of-way acquisition, new roadway pavement, traffic signals, underground utilities, and various other public improvements. The Pine improvements are being constructed in multiple stages as part of new development in the preserve. This includes the Harvest Residential Development, which is located at the northwest corner of Pine and Hellman. This residential development required Lewis to design and construct what's referred to as stages 1 through 3 of Pine Avenue. Stages 1 and 2 consist of roadway improvements on Pine between Euclid and Rincon Meadows Avenue. These stages are now complete. However, stage 3 consists of the widening of Pine between Meadow House and Rincon Meadows Avenue, which remains incomplete as the city continues to work towards obtaining the necessary approvals from the Army Corps of Engineers to commence construction. Currently, the stage 3 improvements are anticipated to commence by summer of next year. Lewis's Town Center commercial development, located on the south side of Pine between West and East Preserve Loop, was conditioned to design and construct Pine Stage 4. This consists of various street improvements from west of the Town Center property boundary to Homecoming Drive. The scope of work also includes certain street improvements that the Fallon Crest developer is conditioned to construct as part of their development on the north side of Pine. The Stage 4 improvements are now nearly complete, with just a few minor punch list items remaining. Lastly, the city and Lewis entered into a development impact fee credit and reimbursement agreement back on June 15, 2021 for the design and construction of stages 1 through 4 of Pine for a not to exceed amount of $16,705,268. During early 2023, local residents who live near the intersection of Pine and West Preserve Loop began to raise concerns to city staff about the condition of the roadway pavement at the intersection. The residents indicated that there was excessive noise and vibration resulting from vehicles traveling at a high rate of speed across the intersection. In response to these concerns and to better serve the residents and businesses in the area, the city requested that Lewis include additional pavement rehab at the Pine and West Preserve Loop intersection as part of the Stage 4 scope of work. This pavement rehabilitation also includes the full width of West Preserve Loop from the Pine intersection to approximately 120 feet north, as shown in red on this slide. This additional work has also largely been completed and did result in addressing the noise and vibration concerns raised by the residents. On May 16, 2023, the City Council approved an amendment to the DIF credit and reimbursement agreement to cover the cost of this additional work, estimated to be $84,050, thus bringing the total contract amount to $16,789,318. Lewis is currently going through the entitlement process for a proposed residential development known as Block 1, located on the south side of Pine from Chino Corona Road to West Preserve Loop. This development will be conditioned to construct street frontage improvements along Pine, which will include various improvements at the West Preserve Loop intersection, such as traffic signal modification, crosswalk, and curb ramps. However, more recently, local residents raised grievances about the lack of pedestrian access to safely cross Pine at the West Preserve Loop intersection and be able to walk over to the new Town Center Commercial Center. Additionally, the Chino Valley Unified School District raised similar concerns because students who live on the north side of Pine won't be able to safely walk to the new Legacy Academy School without these improvements. To address these concerns and better serve the community, the city requested that Lewis again expand, the city staff requested that Lewis again expand its scope of work for Pine Stage 4 to construct a traffic signal modification, a shared use path, an interim sidewalk and crosswalk as depicted on the slide. I also wanted to take a moment to clarify the exhibit on this slide, since we recently received an email from the public expressing concerns regarding the labeling of the depicted improvements. The path with the in red that's of larger width is actually the ultimate 13-foot wide shared use path that's required per the preserve-specific plan. The interim sidewalk is the more narrow pedestrian path that's closer to the West Preserve Loop intersection. That's going to be removed and replaced when Lewis constructs the ultimate improvements for the Block 1 development, which includes extending West Preserve Loop further south of Pine Avenue. Lewis's goal is to complete these improvements prior to July 8th of this year, which is the first day of school for Legacy Academy. Should the improvements not be completed on time, the school district will need to temporarily transport some students to and from school via bus, which is estimated to cost the school district $1,100 per bus per day. The costs for these improvements are estimated to be $290,163, based on a change order Lewis received from its contractor. Therefore, city staff is recommending a second amendment to the diff credit and reimbursement agreement with Lewis. This second amendment would also include an additional appropriation of $21,276.47 to offset the actual cost for Lewis to complete the Pine Avenue improvements associated with the Fallon Crest development. There's no fiscal impact to the general fund since these additional costs are completely offset by the Preserve Diff program. With that, city staff is recommending the city council appropriate $311,439.47 from the unappropriated general fund reserve, schedule a corresponding year-end transfer in the same amount from the Preserve Circulation System diff fund, increase the budget of Capital Improvement Program Project ST203 for Pine Avenue Stage 4 improvements in the amount of $311,439.47 for a total budget not to exceed $3,335,184.47. Lastly, approve an amendment to the construction credit and reimbursement agreement with Chino Preserve Development Corporation to include additional costs for Pine Stage 4 improvements in the amount of $311,439.47 for a total contract not to exceed $17,100,757.47, and authorize the city manager to execute the necessary documents on behalf of the city. That concludes my report. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Jesus. Any questions of staff on this item?
I have
Karen?
Thank you, Jesus, for that staff report. I also received the same email message from our resident. The resident is actually Mr. Barr, who lives in College Park. Two questions before I get into that. The path that you proposed is, it looks like there's a deviation from the section. It does connect all the way to that existing sidewalk, even though it doesn't show it in this slide. Is that correct?
That's correct. That's, I think you're referring to the driveway that's located.
So it's going across that
Yeah, it's going to go.
driveway?
It's going to go across, and there'll be an accessible path across that driveway.
Okay. And we have some history in exchanging back and forth with Mr. Barr. He has a tendency to be very accurate with a lot of these things, but I just want to point out that we are probably going to be discussing with him about the temporary language that you've put in here, as well as, I guess what I'm saying is, if we come to realize that this is incorrect somehow, will we enforce the busing issue with Lewis?
I think in that scenario, we would have to, because if the improvements aren't constructed by July 8th, then the school district would have no choice but to start busing students that live north of Pine.
Okay, so essentially what we're hoping to commit to, if we discover, hopefully we are right on this, hopefully we're correct, but if we discover that we're not, then we will enter into negotiations with Lewis to make it correct, right?
That's correct. We would go back to the plan that was approved and make the necessary changes to ensure that it addresses the concerns that are raised by Mr. Barr.
Okay, thank you. And I just want to thank our staff, as well as Lewis and our residents, for bringing this to our attention and working through this. The safe travel and passage of children in any of our communities, to and from school, especially new school, is always a priority to public safety in our community and the council. So thank you very much. I also received some emails from residents in the Preserve about the lack of the sidewalk when the school opens, so thank you.
Mr. Lucio.
Yes, and talking about that sidewalk, we did get several emails from several residents there at the Preserve, and their concern was because of the way the school boundaries were drawn up, that there was going to be some kids that were going to have to cross the street there on Pine Avenue and walk to school. And since there was no sidewalk constructed there, they were requesting that that Lewis build the sidewalk. And to the credit of Lewis wanting to do right by the community, in conversations with the developer, they agreed to do that for the residents. Normally, what happens is those sidewalks are constructed when development occurs, and there's no development that has occurred in that area. So they were not required to build this sidewalk, but they did this for one, for the children to be able to walk to school, but two, for the residents to be able to walk to the shopping center. So I just wanted to thank Lewis Communities for stepping up, taking care of this, and doing right by the residents, and also to take the burden away from the school district for having to bus kids that now can just walk to school. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Any other comments? Okay, we need a motion and a second to approve item number 14. Motion from Councilman Lucio, second from Councilman Flores. Please vote. Item passes unanimously. Item number 15, cooperative reimbursement agreement between the City of Chino and the City of Pomona for the Walnut Avenue improvements as part of the Street Rehabilitation FY 23-24 project, ST 241. This is to approve the cooperative agreement between the two cities in an amount not to exceed $139,801 to establish project cost sharing and reimbursement obligations. Staff report this evening will be provided by our principal engineer, Michelle Henderson, and our city engineer, Albert Espinoza.
Good evening. Good evening, Madam Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and council members. Tonight, I will provide a project overview and background, funding sources, and construction timeline for the Walnut Avenue improvements being completed as part of the fiscal year 2023-24 Street Rehabilitation Project, ST 241. As shown, the project includes street pavement rehabilitation of Walnut Avenue from Reservoir Street in the city of Pomona to the west and to the San Antonio Creek Channel or Union Pacific Railroad tracks to the east. The total length of pavement rehabilitation is approximately 1,000 feet, with just over half of that being within the jurisdiction of the city of Pomona. The city awarded a contract to Hardy & Harper in February 2024 for the Yoruba Avenue Street Improvement Project and the fiscal year 2023-24 Local Street Rehabilitation Project. This contract included the portion of Walnut Avenue within the city of Chino limits. In March of 2024, city staff reached out to the city of Pomona to seek their interest in collaborating to extend the Walnut Avenue limits westerly to Reservoir Street. City of Pomona staff agreed to coordinate efforts for the benefit of both cities. In April 2024, the City of Pomona City Council amended their capital improvement program budget and approved the cooperative reimbursement agreement to include this work. The work was started and completed by the city's contractors soon after Pomona approved the agreement. The photos shown here are depictive of the before and after conditions of the roadway, and this was before the restriping was placed on Walnut. Regarding the sources of funding, Project ST 241 funds are covered by 3 pools. The Transportation Fund, which will receive an additional appropriation of $139,801 to be reimbursed from the City of Pomona, Measure I funds, and RMRA funds. City staff therefore recommends the City Council approve the cooperative reimbursement agreement with the City of Pomona for the Walnut Avenue improvements for a reimbursable amount not to exceed $139,801. Staff also recommends City Council approve change order number 1 to Hardy & Harper, Inc. in the amount of $109,901 for a not to exceed revised contract amount of $3,305,451 for the Walnut Avenue pavement improvements. Upon this action, cities will review and approve the final product. The City of Chino will issue a notice of completion and initiate reimbursement procedures with the City of Pomona. This concludes my presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. Any questions of this item? Karen?
I just want to thank staff for this. This is for our residents. If you're not familiar with it, the section of Walnut Avenue that connects basically Town Avenue in front of Foothill Beverage to Walnut Avenue. It's been in a state of deterioration for many years, and the work there looks actually very nice. I drove on it a couple times. It rides smoothly as well. My only comment, I've made this to the city manager in the past, is I was recently at a conference with the Public Works Director from the city of Pomona. I'm hoping that we can also find a way to work with Pomona. There's also a small section of the unincorporated section of Los Angeles County there that our residents use often that connects Riverside Drive to the 60 freeway that is in a terrible state of deterioration as well. So I want to thank you for getting this work done cooperatively with the city of Pomona. And with this council's permission, I'd like to ask staff to look into hopefully getting that work coordinated as well. Because it's really bad over there just before the railroad tracks. It's in a very terrible state of deterioration. So thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem, we have had those conversations. At this time, they don't have funding, but we will continue to work with them.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, with that, we need a motion and a second to approve item number 15. We have a motion from Councilman Burton, second from Councilman Flores. Please vote. Item passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is Mayor and Council reports. Under mine, Wednesday, June 5th, I attended Omnitrans and San Bernardino County Transportation Authority Boards of Directors. Friday, June 7th, I attended the senior birthday celebration event. Tuesday, June 11th, I attended our council workshop along with the other council members on the usage of helicopters and our need for a future police substation and helicopter hangar. Wednesday, June 12th, I attended the mayor's prayer breakfast, and then Mayor Pro Tem Comstock and I conducted 2 interviews for the Community Services, Parks, and Recreation Commission opening. Thursday, June 13th, I attended Omnitrans Administration Finance Committee, the San Bernardino County Transportation Authority Transit and Metro Valley Committees, the Inland Empire Division of the League of California Cities meeting, which was held at our police department. And then along with City Manager Reich, attended a meeting with Supervisor Kurt Hagman. After that, along with Mayor Pro Tem Comstock and staff, met with a local resident and representative about a possible development opportunity. On Tuesday, June 18th, today, along with Councilman Burton and Councilman Lucio, attended the Leadership Academy graduation, attended a Relay for Life meeting with Janet Howe, WFA Personnel Committee meeting, and then the closed session prior to council meeting. Mayor Pro Tem Comstock.
Thank you, Mayor. I attended a lot of the same meetings these past 2 weeks that you have, so I'll make it brief. I also attended on Wednesday, June 5th, I attended the Supervisor Kurt Hagman's open house. It was a very nice event. It was well attended, and the food was delicious, cooked by the fire department and the police department, so thank you to our personnel for that. On Monday, June 10th, I attended the Infrastructure and Streets Committee meeting along with Councilmember Mark Lucio and my one-on-one weekly meeting with the city manager. On Tuesday, 11th, I also attended a council workshop here in the council chambers along with the rest of the council about the subjects that the mayor has already previously discussed. On Wednesday, June 12th, I attended the Community Services, Parks, and Recreation interviews with the mayor, along with the, later that evening, the Chino Valley Fire District Board meeting, along with our board members. On the 13th, I attended the League of California Cities local meeting hosted at the police department. I want to thank our staff for doing such a nice job for hosting that. It was an informative update what's happening at the local level. And then later that day, the mayor and I did meet with a local business owner and resident about a development opportunity that they wanted to discuss with us. And that brings me to Monday, June 17th, where I attended my weekly one-on-one session with the city manager and staff. And I also see him sitting in the audience tonight. Last night I was also privileged to attend the outgoing Rotary President's debunking ceremony with a former council member and now Fire Board District member Tom Howie. They did a great job roasting him there last night. It was hosted at the Boys Republic Bistro, a very fun time. And congratulations to our incoming president for Rancho del Chino Rotary, which is our very own Fire Chief, Dave Williams. So congratulations, Chief, on that. It was a very nice event, and thank you for inviting me to go, Tom. I appreciate it. Which brings me to today, where I attend closed session with the rest of the city council prior to this council meeting this evening, Mayor. Last thing I'd like to say is it's always nice to celebrate the great things that are happening in this community. Michael, thank you for bringing them to our attention so often. You're very kind and gracious when you do so. But what a phenomenal accomplishment for the Hope Community Closet and programs over there in collaboration with the school district. If you haven't visited that facility, I've said it before, please visit it. If you have gently used children's clothing, please donate to it. I do. I encourage my family members to do. Their community closet is phenomenal, and it serves so many people and does so much good in our community. That was a vision of Dr. Joseph and the school board that has really come to fruition and is serving our community well. And lastly, just congratulations to that entire team of Chino High wrestlers. As you know, wrestling is a very, very self-disciplined sport, and to the young lady that's going to represent us in the Pan Am Games, that's quite an accomplishment. So it's always nice to celebrate the good work of young men and women and athletes. So that concludes my report tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, Councilman Burton.
Thank you, Mayor. June 5th, I attended the police department welcome and swearing-in ceremony. Later that evening, I attended the open house by Supervisor Kurt Hagman. On the 11th, I attended the council workshop, and then the 13th, the League of California Cities Division meeting. On the 18th, which is today, I attended the Leadership Academy graduation right here in the City Council chambers, and then closed session. And that's all I have for the evening, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, Councilman Flores, you also have item number 16, Community Support Fund.
I do, Mayor. Thank you. And I'm asking for council support in approving the Community Support Fund contribution of $250 to Burrito Breakfast Club Incorporated.
Okay, there's a motion from Councilman Burton, second from Councilman Lucio. Please vote. Item passes unanimously.
Great. Thank you. I'll continue with my report, Mayor. On the 11th of June, I attended the Special Needs Collaboration Event Planning Meeting with some of our staff and some of our local nonprofit organizations who we're collaborating with. That same day, I attended the council workshop here at the chambers with the rest of the council. On the 12th, I attended the Hope 10-year anniversary. It was a great turnout, great event. And one thing that our superintendent, Norm Enfield, mentioned was that we'll see you next year. So for sure, we know this program is going to be supported by the district for another year. On the 13th, I attended the Kiwanis Summer Concerts on the Lawn. We had a great turnout. Music was loud, and people were having a good time, so that was great. On the 14th, I attended the roundtable discussion with Senator Susan Rubio, and it was at the Chamber of Commerce, and it was just surrounded around small business and what the state is doing in terms of legislation and funding for small businesses. So it was a good turnout, good representation there. So, we just want to thank Senator Susan Rubio for her support for small business. On the 17th, I had my one-on-one with our city manager, and I also attended the chamber board meeting that day. And some news I'd like to report from that board meeting is that our chamber, as you know, they've been recognized all year for all the great work they've been doing. Now, they've become a finalist for the Chamber of the Year Award by the Association of Chamber of Commerce Executives, which is a national chamber organization. Zeb, the president of the board, will be out in Texas doing some interviews and, hopefully, to get this award. So we wish them luck, we wish them well, and hopefully they bring that home. And Friday, skate day, I hope to see you all there. And I do want to say one last thing, I guess. This past Sunday was Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. I had a great turnout with my family and my dad, so it was a special evening. So I hope you had a special evening as well. Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. Councilman Lucio.
Yes, on June 4th and June 5th, I went to Sacramento because I'm a member of the Inland Empire Economic Partnership Regional Leadership Academy. It's a 10-month program, and it finishes in Sacramento, where we go meet with our local politicians and see how laws are passed and how to lobby for different things that you may need. The Academy also takes you through a number of things through the Inland Empire, nonprofits, police departments. I think we visited the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Academy. Also, we did the gas company, the electric company, so it just kind of gives you a round, I guess, it explains to you how government works, whether it's in public sector, private sector. So it's a good program. They are taking applications for their next cohort, which should be starting towards the end of this year. But it was good. It was got to meet a lot of people that work within the Inland Empire. So it was a great for collaborating with different people, meeting different people throughout the Inland Empire from different cities. So I would suggest if any of you are interested, let Jackie know, and it's opening up. So if you guys are interested in attending, it'd be good to start signing up now. On June 5th, I attended Supervisor Kurt Hagman's open house. On June 8th, I attended the Prado Family Fish Day. I will say they said they stocked 1,000 pounds of catfish. We didn't catch one. So, and I didn't see anybody else catch any, so I didn't feel that bad, but maybe I'm just not a good fisherman. On June 10th, I attended the Infrastructure Streets Committee meeting. June 11th, the CIM-CIW Citizens Advisory Committee meeting. Later that day, I had a meeting with the city manager. Then also in the evening, we had the council workshop. On the 12th, I was going to go to the Hopes event, but my son graduated from high school that day, so I wasn't able to attend. On the 18th, I had my other meeting with the city manager. And then later on that day, I attended the Leadership Academy graduation. I did want to say one thing about Chino High School wrestling. I think they were Division 4 initially, then they moved up to Division 3. They won a championship in 4, won a championship in 3. Now they're moving them up to Division 1. The top division is the open division. That's where you get the Palm Deserts, the Fountain Valleys, the Boscos. So they're definitely competing at the higher level. So if they do well in this at Division 1, they have the opportunity to move up again and go into the open division. But one of the things that Zach Samano, the freshman wrestler, he actually eliminated a kid from Fountain Valley. And if you're not familiar with the Fountain Valley program, they have a lot of Big Ten, All-American college wrestlers that coach there. So they got kids from Oklahoma, they got kids from Iowa, and they all go there and they train these kids, and they have a regional training center there. And Zach Samano defeated one of their kids to move on to state. And that kid had won everything. He had beat him at Masters, and Zach came back and beat him at state where it counted. So it just shows you, Zach and his father was up here too. They started at Ayala Smash. They continued on here at Chino. So that's a kid that started with the youth program and then continued on to high school, and here he is as a freshman already being a placer at state, which is a big accomplishment. They're starting a program, they're going to be starting a youth program here at Sector BJJ soon. So hopefully now we'll be able to transition our kids in Chino to start going into wrestling early on and then be able to compete at the higher levels as they get older. And one of the things I want to say for Lloyd McBride, who's was a captain on the Sheriff's Department, just retired. He lives in Chino Hills, and one thing that he always used to tell me is he used to say, "Tell me how many kids from Chino Hills go to Chino high schools," because he always says that the kids from Chino go to Chino Hills High. Well, that young lady that's representing us in the Pan Am Games, she lives in Chino Hills. So at least one kid from Chino Hills is coming to Chino High. And the kids, several of those kids live in the preserve that should be going to Chino Hills High, have decided to come back and come to Chino High. And those are the things that we want to start seeing on a regular basis. We want to start seeing our kids staying in our city and attending our schools. And that's why I'm a big proponent of the Chino Wrestling program, because they're the one program that is doing that. And I also want to make mention that it looks like Lewis and the Chino Unified School District have come to a settlement on the current lawsuit that they have. So I just wanted to thank the board for coming to a settlement with Lewis so that we can now start moving forward. And Lewis is really eager to start doing some things within the school district there. So I'm looking forward to that. And I just want to thank the board, because this is the only board that has ever settled a lawsuit against Lewis. The other previous boards continued with this litigation and lost both times. So I'm happy to see that this current board was open-minded and got things done to get it done for the kids and not tied up millions and millions of dollars in litigation. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, City Manager Reich.
Thank you, Mayor. No report for me, but under Director's Report, our city engineer, Albert, is going to give an update on Ramona.
Okay. City Attorney Galante.
Thank you. I didn't know if you wanted to go with the report first, Public Works report. Just as a comment to the council, the California Supreme Court is scheduled to decide any day now the legality of the Taxpayer Protection and Government Accountability Act. The measure had qualified for the November ballot and was spearheaded by the California Business Roundtable. Public agencies have been very concerned about whether that measure is actually telling all the right information and accurately written. As you may recall, this would require an increase for voter approval of tax measures, as well as voter approval of imposition of city fees. It would also change the threshold for local tax initiatives from the current simple majority to a 2/3 voting requirement. The most concerning part about it, as has been discussed, is it has a retroactivity component. So any taxes that were approved by the voters by simple majority all the way back to January 2022, if it didn't meet the thresholds that are proposed in the measure, the 2/3 threshold, they would be deemed void, all of those approved tax measures. Obviously, given Measure V, the City of Chino is interested. The case essentially hinges on whether the measure constitutes an unlawful revision of the state constitution, as well as prevents cities from accomplishing their mission and being able to operate, frankly, because it could financially hamstring cities. The decision is expected before June 27th, which is the deadline to finalize November's ballot. As you recall, there's a competing measure that's called the Assembly Constitutional Amendment 1, ACA 1, that seeks to be significantly more moderate insofar as it changes the voting threshold to 55% rather than the 2/3 of the 66% threshold. So hopefully the Supreme Court will render a decision that protects city funding, and I will report back to the council when I hear about the decision. Thank you.
Thank you, Fred.
Mayor, I just
Yes,
have a
Karen?
Fred, thank you for bringing that to our attention. I've talked about this before as a member of the board of the League of California Cities. There's going to be so much on the ballot in November, and if this does qualify, this is going to be another one of those things. I would just encourage people to understand the title and summarization of different ballot initiatives. They can be very confusing, and at times are written to be misleading or confusing, as we know it has happened in the past. This is significantly impactful to every city in the state, should it pass, as well as, if I'm not mistaken, every city in the Inland Empire has taken a resolution in opposition of this legislation. So I would just ask the voters to educate themselves, particularly on this matter, should it make its way. But I'm actually hoping that the California Supreme Court deems that it is unconstitutional, and we won't have to cross that bridge. But those are my only comments at this time as we track this legislation. So thank you, Fred.
Like many other pieces of legislation, the name is very misleading. The sad thing is that the people will read it and think that it really does mean what it says, which it does not. Proposition 47 was one of the prime examples. And what was the official title of that?
The Safe Schools and Streets Act.
Yeah, which had nothing to do with that. It lets everybody out of jail, so.
You're correct, Mayor.
Okay, our police chief is not here. Who's going to fill in tonight?
Deputy Chief Beeman.
Andy, our short timer.
I tried to get the city engineer to fill in for me, but
He wouldn't do it, huh?
well, good evening, members of the council, Madam Mayor. As we approach the 4th of July, just wanted to make you guys aware of some of the preparations the police department is making. First of all, we've already started a social media campaign to discourage the use of illegal fireworks. We've already confiscated over 200 pounds of illegal fireworks. More posts are planned in the future, including one this Thursday. The one this Thursday will be about online reporting of illegal firework activity. Starting this Thursday, the 20th, residents can use the city webpage, police department webpage, the city app, or the police department app to report illegal firework activity online. Our dispatchers are going to be able to monitor that and dispatch officers appropriately. And we encourage people reporting illegal firework activity online to be very specific. And please do not report emergencies online. Call 911 for emergencies. Do not use these online apps. Over the next 2 weekends, we're going to deploy additional officers dedicated to firework enforcement. These officers will seek out people using illegal fireworks and respond to calls for service about illegal fireworks. Madam Mayor, you mentioned the City of Chino is hosting the Fireworks Spectacular on the 28th and 29th. The police department will have 38 officers over those 2 days, providing security and traffic control. And on the 4th itself, we're going to deploy 61 officers, 24 dedicated fireworks cars, 4 DUI cars, and 4 drone operators. So we're well prepared to provide for the security of the city. I know Chino loves to celebrate the 4th of July, and we're there to help make sure it happens safely. And then finally, I'd like to invite all of you to a Explorer Academy graduation being held this Saturday at 12 o'clock. Right now, as we speak, 18 explorers from 5 agencies are at the Chino Police Department going through a very grueling academy that mimics much of what an officer goes through in a police academy. They learn a lot of police disciplines. They work out. It's very physical. They experience things like pepper spray, being yelled at constantly, and it builds character, builds strength, and these explorers are extremely dedicated, and they're a farm team for us. They become cadets and PSOs and officers and dispatchers, and it's a very successful program. So you're all invited this Saturday at 12. And that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Andy.
And Deputy Chief, I'd just like to mention quickly, his last day will be July 3rd. He'll be retiring from our fine agency. Deputy Chief Andrew Bieland has served many, many years with the Chino PD. And prior to Chino PD, he was with the Los Angeles Police Department. I want to thank you for your many, many years of dedicated service to this community, the sacrifice that you've gone through. You've just done an incredible job, and I want to thank you for your service to our community, Andrew.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Andy.
We're going to miss you, Andy.
I'm going to miss it too.
So, Andy, July 3rd, right? Just couldn't get one more 4th of July out of you, huh?
No. Chief Menson said your last day, there's too much temptation to work a 4th of July. Didn't want me to get in trouble, so I
Well,
graciously bowed out.
Andy, we're all going to miss you. I enjoyed working with you in multiple assignments throughout my career. You know, I can think of all the times we sat in offices together just laughing our heads off, or sometimes in moments of frustration. You know, all those cases, I kind of reflect back and forth on. Thank you for your service, Andy, as well. I know you'll probably be at one more meeting, and I'm looking forward to coming to your Walk of Honor. You've earned it. Congratulations, and enjoy your retirement, Andy.
Thank you very much. I have great memories with both of you. We did a lot of good work together, and yeah, it's tough, but you both did it, and I'll hopefully follow your example. So.
Oh, you're going to get on a city council somewhere?
That's right. I am currently a resident of the city of Chino, so.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, Albert, you're up.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and council members. So just a quick update. The Public Works team has finally been able to secure a geotechnical firm to go out there to Ramona and do an investigation. The initial firm we were trying to get out there to do their exploratory work did not want to participate. So the new firm will actually be out there this Thursday evening, June 20th, to take some core samples of the underground integrity of the street. And they're going to be doing the work along Ramona Avenue, from Chafer Avenue to Chino Avenue, to provide us some more information on what the structural integrity is of that road out there. So once we have that summary report, the Public Works team will have a better understanding of what to do to proceed, you know, moving forward to do whatever road repairs they are. At this time, I don't want to speculate what those conditions are. That's why we want to have that professional come out and do their work to get us some more information, and then from there we can work with the contractor to hopefully have a path moving forward. So we will nudge the geotech firm to try to get us that information sooner than later, but we have secured them for this Thursday evening to get us some more information.
Great. Look forward to it. Any other department directors have a report? Excuse me. Seeing none, we have our Fire Chief Williams here this evening. Mr. Dave.
Thanks, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council, and community members. The Fire District will also have a very robust presence at the Chino Spectacular, both for fire needs and EMS as well. We will have an EMS car out there to attend to any folks should they get overheated or any kind of medicals arise. And we will also, leading into the 4th of July, we'll also be backfilling and hiring up additional staff. That night's always a very busy night for us, as you can imagine, even just by the word fire. So with that being said, I'd like to just really encourage all community members to make sure that you clear out your brush. You know, the fires have already started. Today was a very hot day. Starting with over the last couple of days, we've had to send out many resources, even as far as Northern California, to assist on the large campaign fires that are already starting. So it's actually a little bit early for us to be getting into that, but it's happening early this year. Things are drying out quickly. So community members, please just be mindful of any open flames, and again, just be mindful of the weed abatement requirements and clear your lots out. And I really just wanted to also, over this last week, we had a really unfortunate tragedy out at the airport, where we had a plane go down, and our folks did respond out there. Those are fairly unusual type events. They don't happen often. So I would like to thank my personnel for responding in a professional manner, staying there to assist FAA and NTSB with their needs, and also just the condolences to the families that are impacted by that event. And I think that's all I have, unless you have any questions.
Any questions this evening? Okay, thank you very much, Dave. And before we adjourn, I want to tell my husband an early happy anniversary. June 21st is our 49th anniversary. That man has put up with me for 49 years. He deserves a medal. With that, we will adjourn to Tuesday, July 2nd at 6 p.m. with closed session starting no earlier than 4 if necessary. We are adjourned.